Everyone. Okay, we're still the morning. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us in for the OB1 second year anniversary, which also doubles as OB1 Epic Meetup, where we're having Olumide Soyombo, co-founder Blue Chip Technologies, come in, have us a simple masterclass where you will be engaging with tech startups within the urban community and generally tech startups and individuals that have joined in to this virtual call to learn more about the expectations um, that venture capitalists and angel investors do have when they're looking to invest in startups and businesses in the technology ecosystem at large. So what I want to do now is just to quickly mention to us that we will start at exactly 12:05. I can see that also the executive sponsor of OB1, who has been behind most of what we've been doing in the tech ecosystem, especially the physical infrastructure of one. She's already on the call. And once we start, she'll be the first to, just quickly take us through the impact of the orb as we see it, and of course, challenge us on our expectation as we enter into the second year. So we'll start at exactly 12:05 just to give ample opportunity for the other startups that have not joined us to join in. So let's fasten our seatbelt, and I'm sure that we would enjoy our time celebrating OB1's second year anniversary. So I'm not sure I introduced myself. So I'm Babajide Ashegbeloyin, and I drive the bank's engagement. That is First City Monument Bank's engagement within the tech ecosystem. So invariably, I'm the team lead for our tech ecosystem business. And I'm excited that we are at the second year of OB1, and we know that the journey just started, and there's a lot for us to achieve together. So we will start at exactly 12:05, as I've mentioned, and thank you all for joining.
Hi, Olumide. How do you do? Hi, Rulayo. Abajide.
Hi, Olu, good morning. Sorry, I was muted when you were speaking. Morning.
Olumide, how do you do before the program starts?
Very well, very well. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Right.
Morning, sir. Or it's afternoon already. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Abajide, how now? Good afternoon.
We're fine. Thank you for joining us, sir. We will start at exactly 12:05.
Okay.
So we just want to ensure that we have a good contingent of our tech startups, a few of them that just joined us, because we'll have a short session where they just introduce themselves as we move ahead for the second phase of, or the second year of Born. So once it's 12:05, we'll start, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great.
to go back. 2 days ago, a 13-year-old boy was just playing basketball at a local park, and a group of people threw basketballs at his head, telling him that he was a Chinese virus and he should go home. It's so disturbing and yet it's so important of these accounts. The recent study published by the American Journal of Public Health, which
So once more, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you once more for joining Obon's second anniversary, which also doubles as Obon Epic Meetup, which is also a masterclass that we will be having Olumide Soyombo. We will be talking to a good number of our community members, especially tech startups within our community, on what angel investors and venture capitalists look out for when investing. It's very instructive that we are bringing Olumide Soyombo at this time because Olumide over time has proven to be one of those angel investors that have invested in extremely successful tech startups that have done well in Nigeria and Africa. So from Paystack and a couple of other guys, Olumide is one of those people that before these startups blew up, it's as if he has a clear understanding on what to look out for. And so it's very interesting that we're having Olumide on this particular program of our celebration. So just to move ahead, I have on this call the divisional head transaction banking, who is also the executive sponsor of Obon. She's the what I'll call like the driving force behind most of what we do. You know, she's the one always trying to get us the money that we need to drive our agenda in the ecosystem, and it requires strategic support. So also with us on the call, we have our ED retail banking, who is also a strong supporter of young people, a strong supporter of innovation, and a strong supporter of how digital transformation is important in helping young people build fantastic enterprises. So what I'll be doing now is handing over to Mrs. Rolayo Aigbe. She'll just be talking us through the impact of Obon in the last 1 year, and also challenge us on what she hopes to see as we move into the second year. So thank you, Ma, and welcome for being part of this program today. Thank you, Ma. So I'll be muting my mic.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this session.
Speaking, I didn't realize I'm still muted.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this session.
Okay.
My name is Igwe Patrick, and we will be inviting Madam Rolayo, who will be taking us through our session. Thank you very much, Ma, for gracing us with your presence, and thank you, and we await a lovely session.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Jide. Thank you, Igwe. And it's so funny that you're welcoming. That's like somebody welcoming me for coming to my house. This is home, right? And I remember when we started Hub One, before there was a Hub One, when Hub One was still a concept, when it was still an idea. So I'm quite happy that this baby is now a third life, and I use that term. And as we're growing and maturing, there's a lot we want to see, a lot we're going to be seeing in Hub One. So Hub One has sort of evolved from just the physical space to a community. So now a virtual community. And I'm just going to spend just very little time, not more than 5 to 10 minutes of our time, just to give us an idea of where we're coming from and where we're going. So if we can move to the next slide. Can we move to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so over the last couple of years, we actually started Hub One before there was a physical space. In terms of the partnering in the ecosystem, we partnered with Passion Incubator, that's lead space by Passion Incubator, and the whole idea is to work with someone, with an entity that's already in the ecosystem, that already understands how to grow businesses. So the whole idea is like Jide said, we're looking at the businesses of today and seeing how we can grow them into the businesses of tomorrow. And over time, over the years, can we move to the next slide, please? Over the years, we have, over the last 2 years, it seems like we've been around for a lot longer, but literally has just been 2 years. And so we've gone through different things. We've had different pitch events, whether it's gender focused, program focused, agricultural focused, sector focused, looking at startups. We partnered with Lagos State on different areas. We partnered on discounting workspaces with Lagos State Employment and Trust Fund. There's so much, we've been able to do, and because we've seen that there's a desire in the country, there's a desire in Lagos in particular, where Hub One is physically located, to drive growth, and we understand that technology is the way forward. And can we move to the next slide? So that as we've done, but we also realize that beyond putting funds in someone's hands, right? As a young business, what you really need is understanding, is that capacity building, understanding how to turn the money that's in your hands into sustainable revenue. So we've also had what we call our Epic Hour. We've been branding it the Epic Hour, where we have a knowledge sharing series. So for people in the Hub One community specifically, and the broader tech space. And over the years, over the last 2 years, and this is, in fact, the bulk of this took place last year with COVID. So we've had over 3,000 entrepreneurs, join us for our sessions. We've had over 20 startups that we're supporting in different ways of getting their ideas into the market. We've also had, the workspace access for over 30 companies. And then we'll continue to do so much in the agri space, as I said, and also in general business space with specific programs for to tell startup, USPF. So we're also partnering with specific companies and specific organizations to drive, their vision of incubating the businesses of tomorrow. So can we go to the next slide, please? And so likewise, over infrastructure support, we've done that as well, So over the last few years, the last 2 years, so provided infrastructure support to over 300 businesses in terms of the physical location, the businesses that have passed through, physically passed through Hub One's doors and through our partners. And then literally over 8,000, when we're looking at the numbers of those who we're engaged with, the database that we have, over 8,000 entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, meaning those who are still within an organization, but trying to bounce off their ideas. So 8,000 people, have been impacted over the last, 24 months. So can we go to the next slide, please? So what does this mean? It also means that we've also been able to work with some partners, strategic partners, to create this awareness, of what's going on and how we can help you run your businesses and how we can help you grow your business. So we've done quite a few things with Lagos Innovates, we've had quite a few visits from them. We've had a lot of partnerships with them. The vouchers have been given, done a few things with Aldi, with TechPoint, with Total, with Erasmus, we're impressive. So there's a lot, and we'll continue to do a lot more in this space as we grow and as we mature and as we, as we spread our tentacles, as it were. So can we go to the next slide? So as with anything, we're talking about innovation, and we also look at how do we help the companies that we're helping to groom and grow, even within FCMB. So we also believe in collaboration and alliances. So this is just one that we've collaborated with, that was Welvis. We've done a few things with a few other companies as well, a few other Hub One companies. But the whole idea is that when we see an opportunity, an opportunity for us to help you grow, and if we can partner with you on that opportunity within the bank, we definitely will do so. So as we go to the next slide, you'll see the things we have planned for 2021. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, well, we all know COVID happened, so this is where I want to settle. Thank you. So for 2021, so the same way you are growing, evolving, digital is growing and evolving, so we are also growing and evolving. We've been asking ourselves, so what is the next thing? So Hub One, as we said, has gone beyond just being a physical location, is now a community. So how do we address this community? What are the things we can do, to help grow this community? So we're looking at accelerator programs as well, specific accelerator programs with Hexagon. We're looking at, throughout the year, there's certain things we're going to be doing throughout the year and certain things we've earmarked for certain periods. So throughout the year, we're going to be talking about how we can, support you in terms of developing your business and access to market. One of the sessions we're having today is just part of that, to understand how you can make your business, what are the things investors look out for. So to help you make your business ready for that, in May, we're going to have an agri-tech incubation program. Every quarter, we're going to have our Epic pitch series where we have different companies come in, and then we also have seasoned professionals or seasoned, shall I say, players in the market, to come and have a look at what it is that you're saying. So to look at your MVP and see, are there things you can do? Do you have a product that or a service that we can partner with you to take to the market? And then how will we structure doing that? The doors continue to be open, throughout the year. So our workspace is available to everyone. And then also we're going to be identifying those we can partner with throughout the year. But most importantly, by the third quarter of the year, we're looking at a dedicated structure for startups, which is going to include maybe some aspects of financing, some aspects of equity, but we're going to have that in place by quarter 3. So watch this space. There are a few things we're going to be doing in 2021. So as we continue to grow, as we continue to evolve, the manner in which we're going to be engaging with you will also grow and evolve, especially as the space grows. And the beauty of technology now is before, this time 2 years ago, anything we're doing would have to physically come to the space, but now we're able to accommodate a whole lot more people. I don't think we'd have been able to accommodate 8,000 people, in the physical space, but we've done that, over the last year. So that just shows even us the power of scale, the power of technology, and the power of what we can do when, people of like minds come together to move something forward. So can we go to the next slide? Okay. Can we move to the next slide? But essentially, what remains for me at this point in time is for us to look at, as I said, what are the things we're going to do going forward, how we're going to support the business going forward, how we're going to deepen our footprint going forward, and most importantly, how we're going to continue to engage with you. So at this point in time, as I said, we have a guest speaker today, and the whole idea of having this particular guest speaker is for you to understand, like Jide said, there's some people who had invested in some businesses early. Today, we're celebrating the flutterwaves and the pay stacks, and we're so excited and so happy. People like, I know Shola has been through, for one of our epic pitches, our epic talks as well. So there are many of guys who we're celebrating today who have been part of the Hub One story as well. So we're quite excited about that. So the question is, how do we now help you become, the pay stack, the flutterwaves, all these names that we're celebrating now? They didn't start off, with $100 million, $200 million, but they started off slowly, and understanding that they're running a business. And so that's part of what Olumide is going to be talking to you about. So I want you to listen with open ears, take your notes, understand with an open mind as well. As a founder, sometimes you may think you know exactly how to run your business, but I want to encourage you to keep an open mind so you can understand how others have done things and how it has worked. And so if there are any things you need to tweak in your business, for us at FCMB, we'll continue to support, we'll continue to partner with you, we'll continue to be open to areas of collaboration so that we can go on this digital journey together. So at this point, as I said, my job is quite easy. It's just to say a few words to welcome you. And at this point in time, I'd like to hand over to our Executive Director, Retail, that's Mr. Oluwakomo, who has been a passionate supporter of digital, passionate supporter of young talent. And I'd like to invite him to say a few words in light to the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rolayo. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again, Rolayo as Senator. We're all here to listen to Olumide and the wisdom he has acquired, has built up in this space. Olumide, we are looking forward to hearing you, the successes and the wisdom in the things that also did not go well. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting time. So welcome everybody again. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, ma. At this point, I would like to grace us with the presence of some of the startups that are within the Hub One community. And I would just like to call out their names, and we'll be giving them a little bit of time to address themselves and the solution they are currently trying to bring into the community and Nigeria and Africa at large. So I'll be reaching out to Kwabli, the CEO, David Ogbonaize. I believe he's here. We'll be giving you a chance to introduce yourself and your startup.
Good morning, everybody. I'm David, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kwabli. You know, many businesses in Africa lose a lot of money and time, and even customers, due to inefficient processes and manual operations. And sorry, many businesses in Africa lose a lot of time and money due to manual processes and inefficient operations, and they need software to help them manage these operations. But however, the average small business in Africa cannot afford to hire developers to build the applications they need. And for the large organizations, it takes a lot of time and money to build a custom software solution that can help them manage their operations efficiently. And that is tailor-made to fit their business process. And this is what we're solving at Kwabli. Kwabli is a no-code platform that helps teams and businesses and also organizations to rapidly create software solutions without needing to write code. So with Kwabli, you can actually create software solutions that would have taken months and a lot of money to create. With Kwabli, you can create them within hours, and everything is powered with our powerful workflow engine. Kwabli is a team of engineers that is based in Nigeria and Canada, and we're currently in private beta. We have about 10 customers that cuts across different sectors, and most notably, we have a team in Guinness, Nigeria, that's that built an application through Kwabli that within hours to manage their customer relations. And what's fascinating about the products we're building is that every business and organization out there is a potential Kwabli user. We currently have like 25 companies on pipeline that are about to close, and we are going to launch our product to the public by by middle of April. That's next month. We're going to launch our product to the public by middle of next month. And the market for what we're building is so huge. It's a rapidly growing market for no-code platforms. That's platforms that enable people create software solutions without needing to write code. So with our platform, non-technical professionals can actually get access to software solutions that they need, and businesses can come on board the digital transformation without needing to have so much experience or even spend a lot of money hiring like development agencies or hiring developers. And thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, David. So we were going to do a slight adjustment so that we don't take much of Olumide's time because Olumide is taking from his tight schedule to speak to us. So what we will do instead is we would have the master class with Olumide. And after the master class, we will now just have a 1 minute, 30 seconds introduction of the startups, the newest startups in the urban community. I think that will be much an efficient way to go so that we can all manage our time properly. Okay, so Mr. Olumide Soyombo, I think we'll be glad to have you on board now. Take us through this fantastic session. And thank you for joining us at this time of the period in the tech ecosystem. And we're excited to have you, just like our ED did mention and my DH. So thank you once more. And the next voice I'm sure we'll be hearing will be from Olumide Soyombo. Thanks.
Thank you, Jide, and thanks to the whole team for having me. All right, let me turn my video on and share my screen. All right, I guess you can all see my screen now. So it's good afternoon, everyone. My name is Olumide Soyombo, and I'm speaking to you today on a guide to raising venture capital or angel investment. I'm the co-founder of Blue Chip Technologies, and I've been investing in startups in the Nigerian and African ecosystem for over the last 5-6 years. And we've probably invested in over about 30 startups to date. Some you know very well. All right, I just wanted to set the tone for today. So this will not be any aspire to perspire rubbish that we'll be talking about. We won't lie to ourselves, as you tend to find in many of the talks and meetups. Everybody's just saying things that they don't really mean, or just saying things because they feel that that's what's correct to say. So we won't do that here. And the best help you'll get will be practical. So I can talk for the next 3-4 hours, right? But the best help you'll get will be practical. So I'll share my contact details, and where there's relevant, I would be able to help, okay? Because you would also find that people like quotable quotes. They want you to give pattern lines. Well, how does that help you build your business? And I tweeted about this recently. So we won't do any of that. We'll keep it real, okay? So, you know, talking about startups isn't cool, right? What's really cool is building a startup. And so some people just want to talk about startups all day because it's the new fad or it's the new cool thing. But how are you doing the actual building and the actual work, which I feel is the most important thing. So we can talk all today. If we don't work, then it's rubbish. And so the first thing I tell anybody who wants to start a venture is, are you sure you want to do this? And this picture captures it for me because it's like, here, Wado, the startup, venture capital and raising money and building a business is very, very hard. So you need to be sure that this is what you want to do. You need to have your why. And you have to ask that question, why? Why am I doing this? Am I doing this so that TechCrunch can come and cover me, or I can be on the front of every blog post or every tech article? Or am I doing this just to raise money? Why am I really doing this? Am I saying that there's a big problem that I'm trying to solve? Or am I doing this because everybody else is doing it? You'll find out that if you don't have your why, and if you don't have your why quickly, and if you can't answer that question why, you'll find yourself doing the things for the wrong reasons. Because you find out that entrepreneurship is very hard. Building startups is some of the most difficult things you would ever do. It's very lonely. Nobody's going to, I shouldn't lie to you. It's brutal. There'll be times you'll feel like crying. So if you don't have your why, you'll find out that if you don't have the proper answer to your why, you'll find out that you wouldn't be able to stay that long and you won't have that staying power. So the first question I'll ask is, are you sure you really want to do this? There are different stages of capital raise, and today we're talking about venture capital and angel investing. I'll focus more on about angel investing because that's where I figure most of the startups here at that stage today. So typically you have the seed stage, and increasingly now we have what's called the pre-seed stage, where the company is iterating, trying to build an MVP, looking at the idea, fine-tuning that idea. And that's where you typically get angel investors like myself investing, because at that stage, you are betting on the founder, and you're betting $25K, $30K, $10K at that early stage. Money that, if it goes, it won't be the end of the world, right? But it gives the startup the ability to iterate and build something. And then obviously they go into the seed stage, where they're starting to find some early customers who they can give feedback to them, who they can iterate a product with, and who they can start having even some early revenue in some instances. And then once they've proven that product market fit, they're going into the early stage where they are still building out this product, and they now raise more funding to accelerate whatever their thesis they found in the seed stage to be. So you've found your thesis, you found some from a product market fit that you think the market wants, and you're trying to accelerate that. And so you typically raise a Series A or a Series B at this stage. And then the mid stage is the Series B and Series C for accelerating that growth even further. And then obviously the late stage is the late stage growth. And then obviously the company then goes into corporates around leverage buyouts, mezzanine, IPOs, and the like, okay? So we are obviously focusing on the far left of your screen. So the key thing first is, what is an investor looking for, right? Especially at the angel level. And if you had these two guys on your screen, who would you bet on? And the investor is really betting on the founder. And so you yourself as the founder, you need to ask yourself some critical questions, right? And the first question the investor wants to know is, what risk has Mr. Lagbaja taken on himself before even coming to ask me to invest in him? If you have not invested in yourself, why should anybody else invest in you? So, and a founder pitching to a company, you tend to find that the investor wants to find out, what have you done before? Some guys are still maybe in paid employment and they are saying, oh, I'm still doing this startup on the side. How is an investor going to invest in you when you have not even taken the full risk on yourself? So the investor is asking these 3 questions. What has this person done before? And why does this person deserve? Why do I have to give this person my money? So as a founder, the first thing is to bet on yourself before asking an investor to bet on you. I remember when I met the guys that ended up building PiggyVest today. When I met them in 2014, they were building something out called Push CV at the time. But what I really liked was the dynamics of the team, right? They had built certain things before in the past, and they had iterated from different problem to another problem. But you could see that whatever the problem they were facing, the team was always together to solve that problem. And that's why it's very important to bet on the founder, even above anything else. And that's what an investor would always do first. To bet on the founder, because you're betting that the founder will figure out whatever problems that he chooses to face. So you'll find out that the guys were building out something called Push CV. They built out something called Front Desk, built out something called 500 Dishes, before they ended up at PiggyVest, which is one of the renowned startups in our ecosystem today. But it didn't start from there. And that's why an investor always has to bet on the founder, because he's sure that the founder would always figure something out down the line. Okay? And that founder must have taken a risk on himself first. The second thing an investor is looking for is the product. So what does this product do? How is this product different from what's in the market today, if it does exist? What need does this product address? Or is it just another flashy app that everybody wants to see? Or is it just some fake product that just has a label to it? What does this product do? How is it different? How does it tackle the problems that people have? Today, you find people describing their products and everybody saying, no, it's the next pay stack, or it's like Uber, but for suya. And I think this captures it when people are pitching their products. People just pitch what's the next in thing, or what's the next hot topic in the industry. But does it really solve a problem? That's the first key thing you need to ask. You need to ask yourself before you even start. The third thing the investor looks at is the total addressable market. So is it a Naira Marley audience that's millions of people, a large audience base? Or is it an ASA type of audience that's a little niche, but maybe probably higher value? And what's the total addressable market? If this product were to find product market fit, which is when a product has come into the market and is accepted by the market because it solves a key need, and there's adoption. If there's the investor is thinking to himself that if this product is indeed accepted by many, how many people are going to end up patronizing this product or adopting this product? So the total addressable size of the market is very, very interesting. So thinking about when I invested in Paystack, then what Shola was building, I looked at it as a point of view of something that had to be built. And it also talks about, in a way, also talks about betting on the founder. I've known Shola since when he was building something called Client Devot, which was his enterprise technology company before he started building out Paystack. And I'd seen how he had gone about that iteration. And when he started building out this product, there was zero revenues, or pretty much zero to nothing revenues when we invested. But we saw that this market, or this product that he was building, was a product that had to be built in the market, and it had a huge addressable market. Today, you think about Flutterwave just announcing its raise, and they have about 290,000 merchants. think about the upside that can happen from there. They haven't even scratched the surface. So that total addressable market is what would make investors keep backing you. Okay, so you need to think about the market you're addressing. The size and the value of that market is very important. Okay. I think we'll talk about some do's and don'ts for raising venture capital. And I think you'll find out that you have to make a lot of calls, right? So the first thing I would say is make a list of the people you want to reach out to. In our local ecosystem today, the likes of Ventures Platform, Microtraction, Future Africa, myself, you need to identify those people that you think can make an early bet on you, and you have a huge list of them. Thankfully, as our ecosystem is maturing, a lot of people are coming up with different syndicates that are ready to fund startups. So you need to make a list of these people, and then you need to go further to do a lot of research on that investor. What kind of companies does this investor fund? What stage does this investor fund companies? And then you can also even talk to companies that have received funding from each of these investors. What has their experience been? I'm not going to say that every investor in Nigeria has done what needs to be done in terms of good investor behavior. So you need to find out what kind of investor you are trying to get in bed with, because it's going to be a long relationship. So you need to find out the type of investor, make a list of them, and then reach out to each of them. You find out that also that you find a lot of good product versus wrong investor matching. I'm sure some of the founders on this call today can attest to the fact that they find out they have a right product, or they feel they have a right product, but then they are talking to certain investors, and that investor is saying, hey, yes, I like your product, but you're still too early. That's obviously you pitching to an investor who is probably used to writing a $1 million, a $2 million check size, and then you're pitching the investor a $50K deal size. So you need to find the right investor matching to the stage at which your product or your offering or your solution is. Secondly, you also need to watch out for the traditional investing investor side and your own, and building out a venture type business. You find out that some traditional investors in our market today in Nigeria are used to different asset classes, not necessarily startup businesses. So I've seen some cap tables of some startups where an investor has already taken 51% of the company, because that's what they've been used to in their traditional businesses. And then the startup the founder is obviously not incentivized to keep on building because it's already been crowded out. And by the time we even want to invest and take further equity in the business, then the startup is pretty much working for the investors, right? So you need to find out the right investor matching to the stage that you are in. It's very, very important. When you're pitching also, you find out that people say, hey, what's the name of your startup? And you say, sorry, I can't disclose anything before signing an NDA. And this is a very tricky one because some people or some startups will feel, hey, I've pitched to an investor and he has ended up taking my idea and getting someone to build this. And which is why I said you need to also find out the type of investor you want to get in with in the first place. I feel that if you're speaking to an investor who you think needs to sign an NDA before he can invest in you, then you probably shouldn't even be talking to that investor in the first place, because you should have done your due diligence also on that investor, because many investors will be reluctant to sign NDAs because they meet so many companies every day. So it's very, very easy for startups and founders to think, hey, when I'm building my company, you always find out that you think you're the only one building or has that idea. And all of a sudden, once you get to market, you see that so many other people have the same idea. How many of us have gone through that? So an investor is most likely not going to sign an NDA because he's going to see several companies that look like you. And if he does sign an NDA and he ends up backing one of those companies and not backing you, it could come across as if he took your idea when ideally that wasn't really the case. Having the right legal representation, not a my lord, may I kind of lawyer, is also very important. Even if obviously at the early stage, you can't afford huge legal fees, but getting some advisory some legal advice, even if it's from an advisory network, would go a long way in knowing what to sign, right? What are you giving out at this early stage? What rights do you have? Is also very, very important in building out, in choosing, or in raising angel investment. There's no need, or it doesn't make any sense to have the right product, have the total addressable market, be a solid founder, and then you are then held down with one clause that says you can't do certain things. It will be quite frustrating, won't it? Another guide would be also practicing your pitch and know your business. You need to know your numbers. You need to know the unit economics. You need to know what you're building. And you need to be able to practice your pitch, right? Practice it several times over, such that if you are woken up at any time of the day, you can deliver that pitch. That gives the investor some confidence that you know your business, you know your numbers, you know the industry, and they are not asking you questions, and you can't answer those rudiments of what you should ideally know, right? So I mean, you need to remember also that the investor that is backing your business most times wants to hear from you, right? You are the subject matter expert most times, and so the investor is looking to learn from you and to understand your thesis, and there's no better way to do that by you knowing your business. This is also a very important one, because money raised isn't for your personal pocket. It's not for you to go to 57, Quilox, and Cubana and blow the money. We've seen this happen in our ecosystem. There are stories of people who have raised money and used the money to move to Canada or to buy Toyota Corolla. So you need to know how so when people see raises, right, and they congratulate, hey, this company has just raised $20 million, $15 million. It's not the founder's money. In fact, if anything else, is a burden on the founder, because now he needs to grow that business to match that valuation. So we need to have that discipline, and knowing that raising money and someone putting money in your trust, it's an extra burden on you to then deliver, not a license to splurge. So I had some funny tweets about when the investor recently funds a founder, and all of a sudden the first thing he's doing is buying a car. I'm not saying the founder shouldn't be comfortable, but the optics also matters. And you see that the guy has bought a new Benz, and the investor is thinking, is it my money this guy has used to buy this car? I think also, finally, once you've raised, you now need to give updates, right? Investors can already tell when the updates are not coming that something is wrong, but you should still give updates nonetheless, because whatever it is, you're not going to kill you, and it's not going to change. It's not going to change the situation of things. If anything, it can even help, because the investor might have some insight into that same problem you are solving, or have another company that's gone through the same thing and can help. So don't raise money and all of a sudden vanish, right? Keep the investor updated on your progress and regular updates. And then obviously, finally, when you close the deal, it's all gelato, like my man, Ifawemi, has here. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take some questions.
Thanks a lot, Olumide. Thank you so much for the time. And I think we'll just open it up for a couple of questions from members of the community. And so do we have amongst us questions? What will just happen is just putting your question into the Zoom group chat. Or better still, raise your hand. Because of our time, we may not be able to handle more than 3 to 4 questions. So we would be expecting a raise of hand, or you send the chat. Thank you. So there's a question here, Olumide. I think it's from Oluwafolakanmi Oyeleke. He says, hello, Olumide. I think that most VCs and angel funds at least ask for at least a traction, So I think what he's trying to say is most VCs and angel fund always request that the business has at least a traction or a record of some form of revenue generated or product sales. I think he's trying to know if this is always the case. Thank you.
And that's why I spoke, and it's a good question, and that's why I spoke about investor matching to the stage your business is.
How else we can take things forward with the names that I've shared, the guys who have shared their businesses today, and as well as other things within Hub One. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for all your hard work, and thank you for all the exciting things that you're putting together. It's not easy being a founder. It's not easy, taking a leap of faith. And we're here to support you on the journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you once again to Olumide Soyombo for spending out your time with us. And we'll always wish you all the best. And I'm sure for of one epic hour, you would honor us as usual. So thanks, thank you. And I do wish everyone all the best. Enjoy your weekend. Continue to build, and I wish everyone excellent day. Thank you.